Okay, I hope you have had a productive session this morning. I know as you're making your plans, you are getting more and more excited. I'm not sure that he needs an introduction, but I will let you know that this is Dr. Phipps, Superintendent of Caldwell County Schools, and he is here to share a little bit of information about our next guest speaker. So let's welcome Dr.
Good morning, guys. So you've had a day and a quarter, a day and a third. How's it going so far? Time well spent? Well, today I hope it pushes it over the top, because particularly the next speaker that we've got is a friend of mine. How many of you know the name Ric Flair? Ric Flair's not here. But if I were in a wrestling match and somebody had me on the mat and they had twisted me up and I needed to reach over and tag a hand, this is the hand that I would want to tag right here. He's wiry and slippery, and I know he would wear out whoever had a hold of me. But we've done a lot of work together in the last year. So Dr. Kenston Griffin is here. And Dr. Griffin does a lot just under the name Dr. Kenston Griffin, but he also owns a business and works with a company called Dream Builders. And he'll tell you a little bit about that. Mrs. Burns can tell you she's done some research on where Dr. Griffin went to school and give you a little bit of that background. The background I want to share with you is that he and I have had a chance to spend time together in a car, probably a half dozen times this year, and we've gone out to schools and we've walked around, and then we talk about what some of the issues are, some of the challenges, and he and I are working together this summer. Our principals, our assistant principals, all our leaders and coordinators and folks like that, about 70 people, will come together at Appalachian State, and we're going to do a leadership forum, and he's going to help us lead that. So we're going to have folks go into different areas, very similar to what you all are doing, but they're going to be doing it at a professional level based on what their needs are. But you don't often get an opportunity to have a person who's an expert come on the outside into our county to be able to spend time with you. So I want you to really value what the time he's going to share with you. Very personable individual, but very knowledgeable in terms of the things that he does. A wide range of different groups that he works with, and I'm just thrilled to call him my friend. He's certainly my colleague, but to have him here and be able to share him with you all is something that's very special. So Dr. Burns, anything, or Ms. Burns, anything you want to share?
I was just Livingstone College, right? Grew up in Statesville, then school in Salisbury. A blue bear. And then, as people would say, the real Carolina, the University of South Carolina, Columbia, Gamecock.
I'm in North Carolina.
But that's what they say. That's Carolina. So we welcome you, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Wow, man, I am so excited. Wait a minute, the camera's on. Hold on, hold this phone real quick. Hey. Wait a minute, let me see. Hold on. Hey. Oh, yeah, there we go. Well, first of all, hold on to them. You're cool. I mean, just don't take them off. Well, first and foremost, everybody hold your hands up, because I hadn't had a chance to meet everybody. Ready? Now shake them. We can say we've shaken hands together now. I am super excited to be with you. What is this guy doing? I mean, it's like, I'm super excited to be with you, but most of all, I want to say thank you to all the people that have on shirts like this, which are you and the adults in the room. So do me a favor, give them a big round of applause. You know, humbly, I get a chance to travel now the world to speak and have conversations with young people across the planet. And I think that's humbling, because I grew up in a little place called Statesville, North Carolina. And Statesville is just right down the street. So if I say y'all, don't judge me. How y'all doing? But I say all that to say that I've met a lot of people. And I mean this with everything inside of me. That gentleman back there is one of the best of the best. Not because he's a superintendent, because that's important. Not because he loves app, that's important. But I want you to hear me. That's just, and this is inappropriate in a good way, okay? That's just a good dude. You know when you just find good, you ever run across like a good person. Like somebody was like cooler than a fan, like bam. But he's a superintendent, so I must respect the title of superintendent. But he's just a good dude. He cares for everybody. You know that old saying, oh, people will take the shirt off their back. I'll be honest, I am not taking my shirt off my back for everybody. But he's that guy that will. So Dr. Phipps, just thanks for being just a great person. So, they told me I had 30 minutes, and I was like, wow, 30 minutes, so I'm going to go super fast. So if you do, have something to write with, write on, or you can pull out your phone or electronic apparatus, anything you need to use, because I don't want to get you excited and delighted, and you're like, man, he was good, and people say, what did he say? I don't know, but he was good. I want you to have some tools that you can walk out of here with, because if you really want to think about starting a business as an entrepreneur, I'll tell you, growing up in Statesville, North Carolina, there were not a lot of entrepreneurs. This is what they told me. Go to school, get a good job, stay out of trouble, and get good grades. That's what they said. So I was like, well, sounds good to me. So they ain't say I had to be good at school. They just said go to school. So I looked at different people in my community. I saw a few guys that were brick masons. I saw some individuals that had their own lawn businesses. I saw some individuals that had the old school fixing the Texas Instrument and Atari video games. And some of you are like, what is Atari? Don't even worry about it. But within it, I never really had a chance to see entrepreneurs. So the first thing I want you to do is write down the word entrepreneur. And you're probably going to ask me how to spell it. I don't know, Google it. But write that word down, because entrepreneurs, they come in various shapes, sizes, male, female, seasoned. Seasoned means old, if you were wondering. Young. And I want you to think about it. At your ages, you can be an entrepreneur. I have helped. You already have one? That's awesome. See, I knew we were cooler than a fan. I told her that was the cool table. But what happens is, I've seen young people right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Charlotte Knights baseball game. It's a minor league baseball team. Similar to the Hickory Crawdads, just a little bit different level. And they'll have hot dog stands. They'll have lemonade stands. So I'll tell you a little bit about what I do, but what I do is a little bit different. But I think it's important to hear how it all got started. Anybody ever heard of a person or something called broke? B-R-O-K-E? Yeah, I was broke. I was broke. Because they said go to school. So I went to school, went very humbly, had a chance to go play college football. It was great. Blew my knee out my sophomore year. Watch this. Best thing that could have happened to me. I said, wait a minute. Blowing your knee out was the best thing that could have happened to me? Watch this. Even though I was great at athletics, I was really better in academics, but I didn't know it. Whatever you do, whatever business you want to start, please don't let the business run you. You run the business, but always make sure you're staying a student of the game. Stay a student of the game. If you're taking notes, write that down. A student of the game. A student of the game is math class. A student of the game is English. A student of the game is honors classes. A student of the game, watch this, is researching different businesses. I'm going to do something for a 1, 2, 3, 4. I always get in trouble. I think this is why Dr. Phipps does this to me. So guess what? I only brought 2 books, but I got an idea. I'm going to give everybody a copy of one of my books. I got to get it shipped back up. I'm going to give everybody a copy. Now, Oprah said, you get a car, and you get a car. You get a book, you get a book, and you get a book. Not a car. All right. So what I'll do, Doc, is I'll just get maybe like 40 books, and everybody will get a book, okay? All right, so everybody gets a book. And you're probably saying, why is it important to hear, why is it important to get a book? Because in this particular book, it's entitled New Days, New Ideas, and it really starts to talk about how you're going to start your journey. Remember I said write down the word entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship comes in every different shape, size, and colors. Remember I just said that. But just because you may want to do something and you may want to do it, it's okay. Write this down. This is going to be important. Be careful of who you tell your dreams to. Be careful. This is not even in my notes. Ooh, that was good. That was good. Be careful of who you want to share and tell your dreams with and to. There are some people out there that are professional spirit snatchers. It's not that they don't want you to win. And I'm going to talk about one in a good way. My mother, I love her. I really do. But I went to undergrad, which is your first 4 years of school, not testing your intelligence, but sometimes adults, we talk and we don't clarify. Then I went to something called graduate school. It's just more years of school, okay? After I did that, he'd go to more years of school. But I thought about it. One day I was like, I want to think about doing my own business. So who do I go talk to? So today, you ready for this? You're going to be my mom. Cameraman father. Dad, I want to start my business. You say, son, great idea.
Son, great idea.
Mom, I want to start my business. I want you to say, are you crazy? I am. So that's kind of how it went. And my mom meant well. Let me be real clear. She meant well. But she was like, and I'm going to change. I'm going to tell you how my mom sounded. Baby, you went to school this long. This is how she looked too. And you want to do what? You went to school to be a psychologist. Why don't you just talk to the people like you went to school for? Starting a business, you need money. You know we broke. We're from LaVille, Statesville. And then, there's a risk to this business thing. And are you sure? What if it doesn't work? How you gonna get out of debt? You got student loans, and I was humble. I really didn't have any student loans. I was a college football player. Then I went to grad school. I was a residence hall director for freshman boys. All that meant is I had a place to stay for free, and I was supposed to make sure freshman boys stayed out of trouble. The place for free was good. Keeping freshman boys out of trouble, that wasn't happening. I say all that to say, you have to be cautious of where you share what you desire to achieve. I'll be honest, I can share stuff with him. But you want someone to tell you the truth, but it needs to be strategic. And what do I mean by strategic? It needs to be evidence-based or proven. Don't do a hot dog stand. And this is what many times, it's not being disrespectful, but your generation will say, why not? My generation, once you say why not, my mom will say, because I said so. So all y'all know my mama. But I say all that to say that as I began the journey, most of the things that I was looking to do were creative. I think about some of you now. To be an entrepreneur at your age, wow, I've only been doing this like 22 years. You're probably saying, wait a minute, 22 years is a long time. It seems like a long time, but I'm still a young entrepreneur. I'm under the age of 50. You still look like you guys' parents. I can't believe that. That makes me feel different. I believe it. Anybody got any little brothers and sisters? Anybody got little brothers and sisters? Anybody? How old's your little sister?
16.
16? Anybody else got any little? How old?
13.
13. Anybody else? How old?
13.
13? How old? 12. You ready for this? I have a daughter that's 2. Now I don't sound that old. But my whole point is, life is going to bring about changes. Write the word change down. It's going to be about changes. And everything is about change. We were wearing masks. Oh my God. Dr. Fields probably had one of the biggest changes ever 18 to 24 months ago. Go to school. Oh, you can't go to school. Oh, we'll be back in 3 weeks. 3 weeks turning almost 18 months. Like, oh no, like what in the world? Some people were like, out of school, yes. Some teachers were like, out of school, yes. But we had some loss in that change. So when you start thinking about entrepreneurship, it's about changing your mindset. If you don't mind, click on the slide real quick. When you start talking about changing your mindset, we start talking about who's in the room. I'm going to do this really, really quick. What year are you in school?
I'm a junior.
Junior.
Sophomore.
Junior.
Freshman.
Sophomore. Junior.
Junior. Sophomore.
Sophomore. Junior.
Sophomore. You were cool though, dude. Sophomore.
Junior.
Perfect. So I got sophomores and juniors. The reason I think it's important for me to know who's in the room, you're critically important. Key things you may want to consider. ACT, SAT prep, you got to get involved in that. ACT, SAT prep, because I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship, but I'm never going to leave education. Don't be mad at me, because, oh my God, I feel like a teacher. I'm talking about entrepreneurship, but I'm never going to leave education. Got to get your education. Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are self-taught in their industry, but they don't understand business. You need to be able to count. Math is critical. Math is my favorite worst subject. Probably saying, why worse? Trigonometry kicked my butt. Why best? I love money. I like nice things. Why not? I think it's important. If you want a tractor, I say get it. If you want that fast car, be careful. If you want a motorcycle, see me after the presentation. If you want to dress a certain way, whatever your thing is, it's all out there. Please don't let anybody in your surroundings limit your thought process and what do you want to be. Some of you may just want to take care of your little brother, sister, family. Everybody wants something different. Entrepreneurs, hairstylists, you probably wouldn't make a lot of money with me, but it does work. Okay? What do you think about it? So let's go. I want to find out a little bit about this. So when you start talking about who is Dream Builders, Google us, look us up, okay? Why is this important? Because I just had this crazy idea riding up here. I think there's a way in 23, 24 that we're going to do something with Caldwell County. And I talked to my office. Why can we not do paid internships for students? Just thought about that. Because you don't physically need to come to Charlotte, North Carolina. Because the world of Zoom now, you got a staff meeting on Monday, you have the 5 things we need you to do. Plus, let me tell you what we're probably going to need. I'm just thinking out loud, so you may want to write this down. I'm going to tell you what I need. I need somebody to help us with social media. You're already doing it anyway. Why not get a check from it? It won't be a big check, let me be real clear. But I also need someone to help us with, so we got like a ton of pictures when I go places. We got a ton of videos. We don't have anybody that really sits down and cuts and crafts the videos and kind of make them look a certain way. And, you know what I mean? You guys do that. Like TikTok. I need to be on TikTok in a healthy manner. And by the time I get this, it may be top tick. I don't know. But my grandma called it book face. Book face, Facebook, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, I think it's important for us to start thinking about, instead of you getting an internship in college, because we get about 6 interns from college. But man, what if I had you for 6 years versus 2? What if I had you your junior year? And then your senior year? And then go to the next slide, because some of these colleges may be places you want to go. I don't have app up there. Dr. Pips, I need your help with that. These are some colleges that we work with. I mean, some are small, some are large. These are some colleges. And most of these, normally the ones that we put up there are people that we really have contacts with. Like, I wouldn't put like the Georgia Tech, because I've done something there, but I don't really have a contact. I know the president of the Ohio State. But really, a lot of times, that's not the person you really need to know. Excuse me, the person you really need to know is admissions, financial aid, work study. Those are the people you really need to know, just to be totally honest. So those are some of the people we work with. People are like, oh my God. So what do you do at Dream Builders? Anybody want to know? Say, what do you do? What do you do? Great. So we're an assessment, I'll explain that, training and development firm. Assessments. We go into organizations, school districts, professional sports teams, Food Lion. This is a big one. The federal judicial system, that means you got to have a real good record. We go into all of these systems and we go in and analyze to find out what's going well, what they could improve upon, who some of their key players are, meaning good talented individuals, who are some individuals that may not be cutting it right now, but they may have great talent, they just can have a poor manager. And we teach the skills. Now this is the training side. We teach the skills on leadership. We teach the skills on conflict resolution. Code word, just being nice. We teach skills on social awareness. Just communication skills, customer service. Those are some of the things that we teach. Now, I know what you're thinking in the back of your mind. You're probably saying, okay, people pay you for that? Lean in. Lean in, I'm going to tell you a secret. Lean in. They pay pretty good. But let's be honest. School districts, if I were doing this at, where's Bank of America? If I was doing this for Bank of America, or, yeah, if I was doing this for Bank of America, and I'm saying this very, very humble, 1 hour at Bank of America for someone that does what I do or for what Dr. Phipps does, 1 hour is between $2,500 and $5,000. And I would say the same thing in Jacksonville, Florida, as I would say in Maine, and they'd never know the difference. The joke may be different, but it's about the same thing. Now I want to just make sure we understand that. We're making between $7 and $12 to $15 an hour. People that do what I do, trainers, professional speakers, developers, the pay scale is a little different, but you know what the #1 fear in the United States is? Public speaking. No one fear in the United States. Public speaking. What are they going to think about me? Oh my God, what if something doesn't come out right? Oh, I'm nervous. Let me tell you something. I am never nervous because I'm always thinking about the next level of how I can help someone. Now, let's paraphrase this a little bit. I'm always nervous flying or driving to the place. But when it's showtime, this is exactly what I do. I'm talking about Kenston because I only got a few minutes left. Got my books together, put on my shirt. I was thankful for my shirt. And for me, I'm not telling you to do this, but for me, I had a moment of silence. Collected my thoughts back there. Don't lose your foundation. I'll never try to persuade you one way or another from a social or political or emotional or spiritual standpoint. But for me, I just had to get my foundation. Now, off camera and outside of this setting, after I finish this moment, and if you ever say, well, Kenston, tell me a little bit more about the foundation, then we can have that conversation. But I'll never put that upon someone because that's how Kenston was raised. That's also another way that I can tell you about one of my friends that always takes care of me and, you know, takes care of me. And when I make mistakes, he kind of forgives me. And when I make mistakes, he kind of takes care of me. When I forget to pay a bill, he takes care of me. I tell leaders all the time, you can witness and never ever have to witness. See how I witness? I just did it in a different way. But I've never put my witnessing on you. Let's go to the next slide because I got to get out of here. What is entrepreneurship? Wow, isn't it intriguing that I had the definition for you? Holy cow, and it's even spelled for you. If you want to, take a picture of it because I only got like 15 minutes. Take a picture of it. Take a picture if you want to. Take a picture real quick if you want to. Take a picture. Research shows that you can video it quicker than you can rethink it. You can video it quicker than you can ink it. Doesn't matter to me how you get it, but I do want you to get it. That's entrepreneurship definition, okay? Also, I very rarely do this. Two things I normally don't do. I don't normally let people video because you never know what is going to come out of my mouth and then you don't want to do it the other way. The other thing is I don't normally leave my slide deck. I want to leave the slide deck for you too. I think it's important. Always remember this, leaders. Under promise and over deliver. Under promise, over deliver. Under promise, over deliver. You had no clue you were going to get the books. Truthfully, I had no clue I was going to give the books. My office is going to be like, okay, you drove up there and you gave books. But as the business person, I'm supposed to do the next slide real quick because I think it's important for us to talk about the biggest myths of business. These are important because if you're really going to talk about entrepreneurship, and you can take a picture of this, but you're also going to get the deck, okay? You can take a picture, but you're also going to get the deck. Now you're probably saying, why does he want us to take a picture? Here's what I found. You can leave your purse, your wallet, your shoes, and your socks at home, but you're going to remember your phone. Take a picture. I think that's important. These are some of the biggest myths of business. You got to do it all. You got to be it all. You got to do this. You got to do that. Look at this right here. You should keep the product a secret until you're ready. I would tell you this. Guard, but verify. What I just shared with him, I'll be honest. I won't share that. Go to the next slide because I got to get out of your hair. I don't want to run you behind. Here's a little bit of data. Don't judge me, but I'm a data guy. 9% of billionaires are self-made in America. In other words, that means they didn't really have some form of education. Here's what I found out. The ones that were 90% self-made, I did a data analysis to find out how many of them went back and took some courses to make sure they understood how to keep what they made. Number one course that they took, something around psychology, which is Dr. Phipps' background, something around psychology of understanding how human beings think, tick, work, and operate. How do we move? How do we operate? That's really key. 46% of small businesses between the age of 41 and 56 is 46%. Here's the other data point because I knew that I was coming up here and I found this one last night, didn't have a chance to change it. Guess who the new entrepreneur is by means of age? Blew me away. 17% of individuals that are new entrepreneurs of age range between the age of 13 and 27. Wow. 13. So I can't read fast, but 13 is young. 13, you probably say, well, Kenston, why is that so critical? I think what some of you all are seeing is I'm working harder than I should, and you have an idea, and here's the key word. You won't let your fear, false evidence appearing real, stop you from your goals and dreams. You won't let your false evidence appearing real stop you from your goals and dreams. What are your goals? What are your dreams? Why are you not doing it? Why are you not pushing? Why are you not testing it? Why are you not at least taking a shot? You got one shot. Don't judge. There's a guy named Eminem. He said you got one life to live. And you got that one shot, and when you got the one shot, shoot your shot. Go to the next slide real quick. So when you look at it, here's what people talk about. Because if you really want to be an entrepreneur, these are the ones you gotta have. What's your vision? Gotta have a vision. Whatever you're doing, I don't know what it is. What are you doing?
I own a bakery.
You own a bakery. Great. Like cookies and
Custom orders.
custom orders. And which school district are you in? Which school district? Call.
Oh, okay.
You Caldwell? Perfect. So I gotta think that through. Now watch this, because there is a legal side to this thing. So because what I was about to do is, I'd like 100 donuts or 100 cupcakes. But I gotta make sure I keep her safe and him safe. Because if I work with the school district and then I do something with the student, it's something called supplanting. So there's ways to think around it, and there's ways to get around it. You just gotta think through it. But a bakery, I can't wait. I've been working out too, I can get a couple of them. What's your clear vision? How you gonna measure it? How you gonna measure it? What's your vision? How you gonna measure it? Invest in your business. And when I talk about investing in your business, an executive coach, a business plan, an executive coach is somebody that's certified. That's more at a higher level. But I'm gonna tell you what, sometimes there are people out there called mentors. Mentors are great. Sponsors are superior. These are mentors and sponsors. Sponsor is the one, like Dr. Phipps is a sponsor of mine. I'll give you a true story. Anybody ever heard of McDowell County? He told McDowell County superintendent, hey, got this great guy, he looks good. Got this great guy, he looks good, you should consider them doing business. I just talked to that superintendent yesterday. They want us to come and do something up on the 16th of May. But it wouldn't have happened without that endorsement. So when you look at it, coming up with a great business name. What's your business name or your company?
I currently don't have one, but I've been thinking about batter and crumbs.
Batter and crumbs. I like it. So here's a little piece for you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a card because I could get into some stuff much more technical. But I'll show you how to make sure no one has the name, how you can get the name, how you can own it. You may know all this stuff, but here's what I'd rather do. I'd rather give it to you and you don't need it versus you need it and you don't have it. Does that make sense, leader? I gotta run. Capital, money is necessary. Money is important. What we've done at Dream Builders, and is that one of those cupcakes of hers? Oh, I'm joking. What we've done at Dream Builders, and it's not a lot of money, but we have done it, we didn't do it during COVID, but we do $500 for the entrepreneurial think tank. Like, man, $500 not a lot of money. Okay, you give me $500. The entrepreneurial think tank is we want businesses, small businesses to come in and tell us about Dream Builders, and for their time, for whoever gives us the best idea, we give them $500. What they're really doing is they're consulting with us, telling us about our website, how things could be better, technology, those type of things. Identify your focus and make the main thing the main thing. Sometimes what happens with some entrepreneurs, especially young ones, what'll happen is I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this. It's only 24 hours in a day. You got to sleep a little bit. You got to have a little bit of fun. But you got to go to school too. Does that make sense? Go to the next slide because you got to have all these things in place. Question and answer. What questions do you have? Anybody have any questions? I know you're like, he talks super fast.
What did you have for breakfast?
Believe it or not, this is honestly the truth. An apple, a banana, and a power shake. Yes.
Was Dream Builders like the business that you started, or did you start something before?
Great question. So Dream Builders is my baby. I started Dream Builders 23 years ago, but I'm humbled. I have an office in Charlotte and Atlanta. Most people don't know this. Doc does. I actually have 47 staff. So I can do stuff like this. Like Monday, there were 13 people on planes. What's most interesting, you ready for this? We only have 21% of our market share in the Carolinas. That's North and South Carolina. Our biggest place is Florida. A lot of clients in Jacksonville. PricewaterhouseCoopers is one of those big financial company. Bank of America. I have Bank of America in Florida. I don't have Bank of America in Charlotte. Great question. Great question. Other questions? Talk to me. Yes.
How did you become such a great speaker? Like, was that just an ability, or did you work up towards that?
Well, first of all, thank you. I'm very humble. Anybody ever got in trouble for talking in school? Kind of got in a little bit of trouble for talking in school. So what I've learned is I had to learn how to use what may have appeared to be a deficit and make it into something that was an ability not to have a deficit. I'll tell you somebody you really want to listen to. He's really good too.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. So I'm taking a little secret. So I figured out now how I got here. I think I saw. So we trade off and help each other out with different things. I had him speak to a group of principals, assistant principals, school administrators by Zoom. Well, he has a twin brother, and they trick each other. They trick people all the time. They trick people. They really looks the same. They trick people. So people thought he was his brother. Well, they even sound the same. So people thought that, but I think what I did, to answer your question, I practice in the mirror on what I'm going to say. Last night, my daughter's 2. I'm in the mirror, and I know it's going to be students. I was like, how am I going to open this up? What am I going to do? I was hoping I got some kind of shirt or something where I could make myself give the image that I'm like you. Then I wanted to pull out my glasses. And then I wanted to just make sure I connected. So I think that number 1, practicing. Number 2, connecting. While you thought that I was just speaking to this table, you know what I was doing? I was reading your body language. You got to read what people are saying. Watch this. Read what people are saying when their mouth is closed, not open. Oh, that's a tweetable moment. So practice in the mirror, read body language, and just get comfortable with it. I had to transition from speaking to, at some point in time, I didn't do a lot of ums. There's a group out called Toastmasters. You can go and do that for public speaking. And I didn't do a lot of ums. And one of my mentors told me, he said, you sound like you're slicker than a can of oil. He said, you don't have to sell anything, just talk. So I went from being so articulate to where I had to bring it down a little bit. Like, what's up, y'all? So next question, I only got probably like 3 more minutes, yes.
How did you go from just having your business to like having those connections like with big businesses like US Bank and all that, or Bank of America?
It's relationships. It is clearly relationships. If you do, never forget this, under promise, over deliver. Under promise, over deliver. So I met Doc through actually this superintendent's group that was a super huge group, and I don't even work the majority of it. I probably work with, I talked to 115 superintendents, and I think I probably got 5 of them out of that. Well, maybe 10. And then, this is where I gotta be careful. A lot of times they think I'm coming, it's not me. There's a place called Terrell, North Carolina. I love this 5-hour sprint. We're going there next week. I'm not going. A place called Washington County. I love it out there. But you gotta fly into Norfolk, Virginia to get to Washington County. I'm not doing that. Like, no. Doesn't mean it's bad, but I have other people. So what I did is I built relationships. One person, one person, one person. One thing I will tell you, just because a person has a title of CEO or owner, sometimes that's not the right person to talk to. You got to figure out who the right person is. If you really want to do business with Dream Builders at the office, now Caldwell County Schools is different. There's a whole division of 2 people, it's not a lot, but 2 people write proposals and do all of that. Like, I don't know how we got into this. Many times our assistants don't do our schedules. You and I just do them, and I don't even know how that ever works. Just like this morning, can I be honest? I forgot the address. You would think I would have called my assistant because she had it. I was like, hey, Doc, you send me. I did it. It was probably like 7:45 this morning. You were like, well, darn. So you don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. He probably knew I didn't have the address. He probably had it pulled up. I got time for 3 more questions.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
One of the reasons why I find that a lot of people don't practice public speaking is because they never think that they're going to need it. Would you say that it's real important for people, especially entrepreneurs that are going to get into business, even if it's networking, to practice it, even if they think they're not going to need it, because they're going to need it?
Yes. I would say yes to that, and here's what I will tell you. There are 3 things that are going to happen. Number 1, they will see you before they hear you. Make sure you're dressing the part. Ladies, be ladies. Guys, be guys. Okay? That's number 1. I'm going to see you before you. Number 2, make sure that when you have something to say, make sure that it is something to say. And number 3, big one, follow up. If I were you, go to the last slide or go to the next slide. There's the other set of this. You want to leverage technology, appropriate research. Go to the next slide. Here's some books that you may want to consider. Take a picture of this. Entrepreneur. This is a good one right here. Entrepreneur Mindset. A lot of times I won't put a book up there unless I've read it. Okay? Because I want to leave you with tools. The last thing I want to leave you with after you take a picture of this is my contact information. because I know I went through fast, but that third part, you gotta be able to follow up and follow through. So what I'm gonna do is when I get in the car, I'm gonna say, Robin, when am I coming back to Caldwell County? She's probably gonna say, I don't know, because you and Dr. Phipps do your own schedule. So then I'm gonna say, okay, I need 40 books of New Days, New Ideas. And then when I'm coming back, because I know it's not like I got 3 different school districts, when I'm coming back, we'll figure it out. Who knows, we may be even visiting your schools, because I know I got at least 1 more school visit. Any other questions, because I don't want to run you over on your time. Go to the last slide, it has our contact information up. Any other questions?
Who's somebody else maybe you work with outside of school system and banks and like, can you give us some names?
The U.S. Federal Reserve is probably the biggest one.
Let the teenagers know, like you did at
So,
South.
yeah.
Let the teenagers know
So-
some of the ones that will impress me.
Anybody, so that's a bank. Anybody ever heard of a guy named Toby Keith? So Toby Keith's one of our clients, past client, rest his soul. Anybody ever heard of a guy named Kobe Bryant? Yeah, that was kind of cool. Helped him with his shoe line from a marketing perspective. And it's funny, Doc talked about one. This is one that I don't call him a client, he's just kind of cool. Anybody ever heard of Ric Flair? Yeah. So Ric Flair is kind of cool. We have 6 NBA teams, 7 NFL teams. No, I've not met LeBron James. That's the one that everybody always asks me about. Normally, and I'm trying to figure out how to pull this off, normally Steph Curry goes around with us to different schools just to kind of talk during the off season, because his folks still live in Charlotte. He's coming back here. I just got to figure it out. The problem is when he comes, you're normally out. So those are some of the names, and that's not about name dropping. It was because this person told this person and this person told that person. How I got in the NFL, I was working with a guy named Musid Muhammad. He played with the Carolina Panthers. Last name, receiver. Last name was Muhammad, and a lot of people thought he was Muslim. He said, I need some imaging because everybody thinks I'm Muslim. And he said, I really want to go to churches and speak to kids. He said, but churches won't invite me because my dad's last name is Muhammad, which is my last name, but they think I'm Muslim. I said, well, are you? And he's like, no. I was just checking. No, it didn't matter. I was just checking. So those are a couple of names. Brent Favre. These are a little bit older people. Probably the newest artist. Probably the newest artist that we've worked with is, it's got something hot out, is Kenny Chesney. Probably the hottest that's got something going, because what we do is help them get ready for tours, and you're like, wow. See, you see them singing. Let me be real clear. That is a business, folks. Like, when they go from Charlotte, the research shows Charlotte is a Thursday night city. Atlanta is a Friday or Saturday night city. So that's why you get your concerts in Charlotte on Thursday nights. Also, if you're going to DC or if you're in New Jersey, it's easy to get to Philadelphia because Trenton, New Jersey is really close to Philadelphia. So it's really that. NCAA, we already know that The Ohio State and Clemson, they're working on this big game. We're 3 years out from them doing that before it gets into the bowl season. Georgia and Alabama, they want to try to make that a game in the early part of the year. University of North Carolina, University of South Carolina, playing at Bank of America Stadium. So we do what they call market analysis, just to see, to be honest, to see what we'll buy. So I got to get out of your hair because I don't want to run you over. First and foremost, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hold on for one second. Thank you, but I am going to get them back. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have a beautiful smile. Keep smiling. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Why is that so important? You may have speakers after me that may be better. You may have speakers after me or before me that may have had more content. But it wasn't about being better or content. I wanted to look you in the eye and let you know that my heart is blessed because I had a chance to hang out with you today.
Woo.
Fair enough? Yep. So let's do a selfie real quick.
Don't move. Remember, I have to be able to see your face clearly. If you cannot see me clearly, you won't photograph me. Okay, you ready? Hold the shoulders up, look like you know what you're doing. All right. Well, it would help if I could get y'all,
Mhm.
man, I need wide angle. 1, 2, 3. Again, again, again. All right, now, Dr. Phipps.
Or you want me out? I'm afraid I'll be in the wrong place.
Hey, see,
You're
even
a
Dr.
smart
Phipps
man,
is scared
smart
of Captain
man.
Carroll too,
You're
guys.
a man
You're
of
right.
dignity. We're gonna give you a
Doc, I'm gonna sit in the chair this time.
There you
And
go.
I was able to get up. That was the
Okay.
part. That was the part. that was
Don't
most-
move.
I'm not moving.
All right. Okay, you come on in just a
Yes,
little,
ma'am.
but they can see around. Good. There you go. Now, make sure I can see you. There you go. Good. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 7, 49, 21, 36. Hi. Gotcha. Now, don't move. Patrick. Right down here in the middle. On your knees, buddy. And they can help you up.
Somebody's gonna have to help me up.
There we go. Now, I gotta see you. Remember, shift if you have to shift. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 7, 21, 46. Hi. Got you.